Dear students, welcome back to Doctor's Academy for Taxation and Accounting. Hope you have watched the previous video and which is useful for you. And if it is useful, please share it and subscribe it. Today, let us discuss the basis of charge of income tax, or the basic concepts associated with charge of income tax. First of all, income tax is an annual taxing system, which means the tax will be levied on an yearly basis. The tax will be levied yearly basis means we have to pay tax in the form of TDS or in the form of advance tax, the period in which we get it, the time in which the amount accrue, the income accrue or due. Secondly, the income of the previous year is taxable in the next following assessment year. So the income which we realized in this year, we call it as financial year, or technically it is previous year. The income of the previous year shall be taxed or assessed in the next year, called assessment year. Assessment year is nothing but a period of 12 months succeeding the previous year. Previous year is the period during which the income is realized, or we call it as financial year. So every financial year plays an important role of two things. One is it acts as the previous year for the next assessment year, and at the same time it is the assessment year for the previous financial year. Now, the assessee has to pay tax for the income which he has realized during the previous year. At the rate fixed by the government time to time through its Finance Act. So what is Finance Act? Finance Acts are the modifications to the existing Income Tax Act 1961, which is taken place through the proposal of finance bill, which was presented in both the houses of the parliament and sent to the president for his assent. After getting the assent from the President of India, it will be published in the official gazette of Government of India. Once it happens, then it will become an act, because the act only could be implemented. So the finance acts are the modifications or amendments or the proposals, or which include the finance rate to be implemented in the upcoming financial year. We technically call it as previous year. And the third point is the tax rates are fixed in this Finance Act. So the Finance Act is so important because the tax rate is fixed in the Finance Act. And the tax is charged on every person, which is defined according to section 231. So who is a person? Person includes individual, Hindu undivided family, an association of person or body of individual, or joint stock company, or a firm, or an artificial judiciary person, or a local authority, cantonment, board, corporation, municipality, etc., or any other person who could not place the above mentioned category also will bring or also will be included in the definition of person. So the person, as mentioned according to section 231, is liable to pay tax for the income which he realized during the previous year and which will be assessed in the next year, called assessment year. And now, tax is the charge on the total income. Tax is a charge on total income. So what is total income? Total income means all the incomes calculated according to the provisions of this act. According to the provisions of the act, the income will be computed. Say for example, income will be computed as per the norm provision of for the head of income salary, Similarly, income will be computed according to the provision from income from house property, second head of income, and income will be computed from the business or professional income. Similarly, capital gains will be computed out of the sale or transfer of capital asset, and any other income which could not be placed in the previous category, previous heads of income, that is salary, house property, business or professional income, or under capital gain, will be taken into another head of income called other sources of income or residual income. Say for example, dividend received, winning from lottery, crossword puzzles winning, race horses, owning and maintenance of race horses, winning from race horses, gambling, betting, etc. would be considered in the last head of income, that is the residual head of income or other source of income, because of the reason it could not be placed under the head salary, it could not be placed under the head house property income, it could not be placed in a business income or professional income, and also it is not the sale of capital asset. So this means an item, an income which could not be find place in the four above said head of income will be placed in the fifth head of income, which is said to be other source of income or residual income. So my dear friends, the heads of income to be calculated added together, which is said to be gross total income. After arriving the gross total income, if we apply the eligible deductions under section 80C to 80U, then the balance is said to be taxable income or total income. For your simple understanding, I would say that all the heads of income calculated according to the provisions of this act and arrived gross total income, and after applying eligible deduction under section 80C to 80U, you will be arriving total income or taxable income. And the income tax is to be deducted at source or paid in advance the year in which it is received. The year in which it is received. So income tax to be paid then and there, but the assessment will be taken after that previous year. Such period is known as assessment year. So I would say that income tax is an annual taxing system which will be assessed in the next year, paid in the same year but assessed in the next year. Then it is paid on the basis of the rate fixed by the Finance Act, and every person who is having taxable income is liable to pay the income tax, and it is calculated on total income and also the tax to be paid then and there actually. Or if the income is attracting to taxability, the person who is disbursing the income is liable to deduct TDS, or the tax will be deducted at the time of payment. So when all these calculated, all these incomes are calculated, computed according to the provisions of this act, then it will be said to be gross total income. From the gross total income, eligible deduction under section 80C to 80U to be applied, then it will be total income or taxable income. Now, what is the tax rate, or how much is the tax rate to be paid by each person? So as I told you, person includes individual, Hindu undivided family, a firm, a company, an association of person, body of individual, artificially judiciary person, local authority, cantonment board, corporation, etc., or any other person who could not find the place in above mentioned category also will bring or coming under the head person according to section 231, and they are liable to pay tax for the income which is earned or accrued or arise from India. Now let us discuss the tax rate. Tax rate applicable for the assessment year 2021 for individual, Hindu undivided family, association of person or body of individual is, in the case of individual, it is classified into three categories. So here we are not discussing the tax rate based on the optional taxing system, but we will be discussing the previous tax rate which is given by the proposed by the government. So in that, the individuals are classified into three categories. Persons whose age is less than 60 years. Then persons whose age is 60 years to 80 years, which means more than 60 years but less than 80 years, and above 80 years. For the persons whose income is less than 60, whose age is less than 60 years, up to 2.5 lakhs income, no tax to be paid. Then 2.5 to 5 lakhs income, 5%. 5 to 10 lakhs income, 20% tax. 10 above 10. Above 10 lakhs, the income is 30%. Plus surcharge if the income exceeds 50 lakhs. Plus 4% education, higher education and health cess. 4%. So this will be the tax liability for a person whose income is above 2,50,000 and whose age is less than 60, and whose age is between 60 to 80 years, up to 3 lakh income, no tax. 3 to 5 lakhs income, 5%. 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs income, 20%. Above 10 lakhs income, 30%. Plus surcharge if any, provided if the income exceeds 50 lakhs. Surcharge plus 4% cess for education, higher education and health cess. So that will be the case for persons whose age is between 60 to 80 years. And the case of persons whose age is above 80 years, up to 5 lakhs, nil tax. 5 to 10 lakhs, 20%. Above 10 lakhs, 30%. Plus surcharge plus 4% cess is equal to the tax liability. This is the tax rate for different category of individual or Hindu undivided family for the assessment year 2021. And now the assessee is eligible for a rebate. After computing this, if the total tax liability is not more than 12,500 based on the total income, if not exceeded 5 lakh rupee, they are eligible to get a maximum of rebate under section 87A to the extent of 12,500. He will be eligible to get a rebate of 12,500 provided his income not exceeded 5 lakhs. Say for example, this person whose income tax calculated as 11,500. So under section 87A rebate, he can apply the maximum of 11,500 so that for the assessment year 2021 his tax liability will be nil as per section 87A. Now let us discuss the concept of surcharge. What is surcharge? Surcharge is charge on charge. Suppose the income exceeds 50 lakhs. The assessee is liable to pay surcharge of 10% up to the income 1 crore, which is not exceeded 1 crore. Income above 50 lakhs but less than 1 crore, 10% of income tax to be paid as surcharge. And if the income exceeds 1 crore but less than 2 crores, surcharge is 15% of income tax. And suppose the income exceeds 2 crores but less than 5 crores rupees, then 25% of income tax as surcharge. And if the income exceeds 5 crores, then surcharge is equal to 37% of income tax. So my dear friends, surcharge is charge on charge or charge on tax, which is to be paid by the assessee, the individual or HUF, provided their income which exceeds 50 lakhs. If the income is more than 50 lakhs but less than 1 crore rupee, 10% of the income tax to be paid as surcharge. And if the income is more than 1 crore but less than 2 crores, 15% of the income tax as surcharge. Similarly, if the income is more than 2 crore but less than 5 crore, 25% of the income tax to be paid as surcharge. And if the income is more than 5 crore, then 37% of the income tax to be paid as surcharge. Now let us discuss the concept of marginal relief. Marginal relief is the concession given to the assessee whose income is just above the ceiling which attracts for surcharge. For example, 51 lakhs income, which certainly attracts for surcharge. So the government has given the relief or the privilege or the freedom to the assessee. Instead of paying surcharge, the assessee has the option to give the excess of income over the ceiling, as it could be given to the government. If he could do that, then he will be relieved from charging of surcharge. Let us explain that point with an example. Suppose an assessee is having 51 lakhs income. So certainly he is attracting for surcharge. So instead of paying surcharge, he can pay that excess of income over 50 lakhs, that is that 1 lakh rupee, to the government along with the tax liability, and he can enjoy the relief. So let us explain that. Suppose the income is 51 lakhs. So the tax liability to be calculated is up to 2.5 lakhs income, no tax. 2.5 to 5 lakh income, tax liability is 12,500. Then income excess of 5 lakhs but less than 10 lakhs, it is 1 lakh rupee. Then above 10 lakhs. Above 10 lakhs here in this example it is 41 lakhs. For 41 lakhs, 30% is equal to 12 lakh 30,000. So the tax is 13 lakhs 42,500 plus surcharge of 10%. 10% of this value. 10% of this value is equal to 1,34,250. Now 14 lakhs 76,750. Now plus 4% cess. 4% of 14 lakhs 76,750 is equal to 59,070. So the tax liability is 15 lakhs 35,820. So this is calculated as per adding the surcharge of 10% provided the income exceeded 50 lakhs. Now let us try the second option to the assessee, that we can calculate the tax liability assuming that the income is 50 lakhs and the excess income can be given as such to the government. So up to 2.5 nil tax, 2.5 to 5 lakhs income 12,500, 5 to 10 lakhs 1 lakh tax liability. So above 10 lakhs, here we take it as 40 lakhs. So the 30% of 40 lakhs is equal to 12 lakhs. So here the tax liability is, here the tax liability is 13 lakhs 12,500. Surcharge nil, but the excess of income over 50 lakhs is going to add as such. So excess income over 50 lakhs is equal to 1 lakh rupee. So here the tax liability is 14 lakhs 12,500. Now 4% cess is equal to 4% of 14 lakhs 12,500 is equal to 56,500. Now under this method the tax liability is equal to 14 lakhs 69,000. So here the assessee is ready to give that income excess over 50 lakhs assets to the government, and the tax liability calculated is 14 lakhs 69,000. But here because of surcharge the tax liability is 15 lakhs 35,820. So therefore the marginal relief is equal to 15 lakhs 35,820 minus 14 lakhs 69,000. So the marginal relief is equal to 66,820. So this is the marginal relief, 66,820. So my dear friends, let me repeat it. Marginal relief is the relief given to the assessee by the government whose income is just above the ceiling which attracts for surcharge. So instead of calculating surcharge and paying tax liability, the assessee can pay the excess of income over that value which attracts for surcharge as such to the government, and they can avail this relief. So in this example, the tax liability after adding surcharge is 15,35,820, but by adding the or giving the excess of income over 50 lakhs as such to the government along with the tax liability, that is 1 lakh rupee. So the total tax liability comes as 14 lakh 69,000. So the assessee can opt this one and he will be getting a benefit of 66,820. That is known as marginal relief. Hope this video is useful. Please share it, watch it and subscribe it. Thank you very much.